how are you navigating and telling the story when people's perception and their belief in the marketplace has maybe caused them either they're not able to make a decision, or they're just basically paralyzed through fear? Like how are you telling that story to be able to navigate, be like, listen, if you have to sell, homes are still selling, there's still buyers out there, transactions will still happen, but how are you weaving that into the conversation? How are you weaving that into marketing?
Well, the conversation, for one-on-one with the clients, the storytelling unfolds even when you're on camera or not. This is the real estate market. It goes up and down, and you just go back into the history and the story of the real estate market. You're never going to sell in the high. You're never going to sell in the low. And depending on the position that you're in and what their end goal is, that's how you navigate your clients. And I would doesn't matter what market we're in, there's always going to be a majority of people that need to buy, that need to sell. Unfortunately, usually the people that need to sell are the ones that it's divorce, it's a separation. There's death in the family, there's inheritance. One thing I want to say about that, there's so many millions of dollars of inheritance money still coming down. Even with the path, the boomer generation, my lawyers that are calling me and passing me deals keep reminding me of this and getting me excited about that coming into the market, making it a lot easier for people to jump into homes. But the story I'll tell you a great example would be this morning. I used the advantage of the fact that there is so much inventory coming to market as the intro to my video. I said, I looked at the camera and I said, I see you scrolling realtor.ca. So for you, realtor.com every single day. And you're probably noticing the large amount of inventory hitting the market right now. But there's one thing that you will notice, and this type of property is not a dime a dozen. It's a 3-acre horse farm, and you'll never scroll past too many of those. So I just tried to use what's happening with all the inventory that's happening. There is still rarity in the market for what you're maybe looking for.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be that piece of property that comes up. There's always going to be that special buy that anybody will make a move for, because only certain amount of properties like that come up a year, or maybe in that street or that neighborhood that you die to be in. You're going to wait till that property comes up. So properties are moving and selling, and the stories with the marketing that I try to play on current times. But again, I always try to stick to the root of what makes that property stand out among the rest. And there is a lot right now to make it stand out against. So you got to get really crafty with it.
Yeah. And you said, I think, a very valid point there at the beginning, and there's still a windfall of money through certain channels, through certain avenues, be it inheritance, divorce. There's situations, right, that really trigger the moving process. And you talked about the importance of key relationships. And Leanne and I were talking about this yesterday, and she's got a really great relationship with an attorney who was starting to make introductions. And it's that's introductions to where there's a lot of money and needs to be on point to have those conversations. So it was just a really good reminder that no matter what's happening in the market, there's always the opportunity. You just got to be able to, open up the blinders, don't put the blinders on, don't sit back on the sidelines, but really lean in and find, the relationships that can make the connections for you to where those opportunities are.
Yeah, I got to nurture those relationships. And, it took me so many years to nurture this one with this lawyer of doing, I don't know how many free letter of opinions I have done, but I've sent out a lot of ships, but they're all coming back. And he puts a lot of deals in front of me that I probably wouldn't usually do, but I'm finding myself taking on these challenges and being a little bit more flexible with kind of what I'm taking on. For example, would be co-listing a nursery, a garden nursery. They want my marketing, but I'm not a commercial expert. But to, bring two people together in on that, big investment portfolios, I don't usually take those on. It's a lot of numbers, but pulling in some people in my EXP downline that are working with me or any partnered with me that, let's do this together. And I'm finding myself, being more versatile, even though I don't want all the piece of the pie. I want a little bit of the experience, but I know I bring to the table what that client might be missing. And there's just so many opportunities right now with properties that have not sold to bring your expertise in there. And that's when, if you do really big on marketing, like storytelling or anything that you do that makes your brand stand out, you're almost the only choice for them to call at this point. And we're getting a lot of those calls. And that be it, it's not always the best situation. They've been on the market for a long time. Their motivation's down. A lot of those factors come in, but they also help you position them the way they should have probably been in the beginning. And I love being the second and third agent on properties. It's just sometimes the time they needed me and the time we align, we get more than what they even expected in the beginning when they first listed. So it's a beautiful thing sometimes.